Honorable Speaker, honorable members, and the people of South Africa, we rise this morning not as a party, but as a voice of the betrayed nation, deeply wounded by the rot that defines our practice and intelligence community. Lieutenant General Mchunu revealed the unthinkable, that the minister placed on special leave has interfered directly with critical crime intelligence operations, that the investigations into politically motivated killings were deliberately dismantled, investigators sidelined, and dockets locked away to protect those with blood on their hands. What is more alarming is it is alleged that drug cartels and organized crime syndicates have infiltrated SAP's crime intelligence and the judiciary. Most recently, the president misled the nation on a serious security high risk for the country. Once Parliament, SAP's, NPA, and the judiciary are compromised and in cahoots with criminals, we don't have a credible government. Now, these allegations are a red flag of a deep state. Disturbingly, the morally and ethically questionable president delivered a carefully worded national address in defense of the CR 17 bank statements and Phala Phala. We rise with fever and anger, grounded in the blood of soaked soil of our struggle to oppose this vote. It remains a crater of corruption, secrecy, and betrayal. Let it be said clearly that this is not a vote for safety, it is a vote for surveillance, a vote for suppression, a vote to shield the corrupt from the consequences of their treason. This vote has become a tool of domestic control, not of national security. State security should refer to safeguarding of the country's sovereignty, constitutional order, territorial integrity, and the safety of its citizens against internal and external threats. However, its true meaning beyond the official definition depends on how it is implemented, who controls it, and whether it serves the people or the elite or the criminal syndicates and organized crime. The Zondo Commission exposed how state security was abused to target progressive forces for refusing to conform to elite pressure and influence that discriminated against the majority in their land and failed to uphold the founding principles of the Freedom Charter. It became a tool used to settle political scores and character assassinate rather than upholding the constitutional obligations. Instead, the intelligence services were used for factional ANC battles, targeting journalists and activists, including whistleblowers, but also manipulating political outcomes. House Chairperson, Vote 8 is a disaster. It fails to address private security industry regulatory authority, which uncovered secret, uncredited military-style training camps near White River in Mpumalanga, where MDSS, where around 95 Libyan nationals undergoing training were arrested. They had entered South Africa claiming to be security guard trainees under student visa while having extensive training by unaccredited and foreign-trained instructors. These terrorists were admitted under misrepresented student visas, revealing cracks in visa check systems. Now, these are real dangers to state security and cannot be deliberately ignored. The SSA, once tasked with defending democracy, it is now an ANC political instrument. Over 1.5 billion remains unaccounted for from looted special operations. These are no prosecutions, there are no prosecutions, no reforms, and hence no consequence management. Parliament is forced to vote on a classified budget that even the Joint Steering Committee of Intelligence cannot meaningfully scrutinize. 11 billion in 2025-26 for early retirement, yet there are no structural overhaul and or plans for workforce rejuvenation. This is not reform, but is a formula to recycle rot. The defense intelligence has become a marginalized in strategic planning, especially in cross-border threats and regional instability. The collapse of intelligence coordination in peacekeeping operations like in the DRC has exposed South African soldiers to danger with no threat detection capability. With several cases of theft, sabotage, and security breaches in military bases have occurred, including the theft of weapons, where defense intelligence was unable to detect these activities. This budget is a betrayal of citizens, even those that sit in the DAG, and you cannot deny this. In your secret palace, and time of reflection, my words will resonate with you with these absolute truths. The true meaning of state security lies not in how it's defined on paper, but in how it is practiced. It should never become a tool for authoritarian control or elite protection, but a service that empowers a safe, just, and inclusive society. Compatriots, the state security serves the people. Until the budget serves the grassroots, not the elite, until this intelligence service are transformed, not recycled, we say no to vote aid, no to tyranny and fear, cloaked in the term of national security. The fires of our struggle continues to burn. We, the disciples of change and bearers of the spear, vehemently reject this vote and demand the immediate arrest of the president and his corrupt minister. I thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is the Honourable Kohler.
Thank you, Chair. There appears to be an infinite number of moving parts spinning out of control within the SAPS today. As the accusations swarm about us, preemptively claiming crimes committed by every single player, it would be unwise indeed to predetermine the outcome. I've had to rewrite this budget speech repeatedly, sometimes hourly. Let's start with the fact that it took a year for the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence to be constituted. As we know from bitter experience, in a vacuum, there is no resistance to the inevitable South African free-for-all. Money was splurged, stolen, and misused. We should have been there to oversee crime intelligence. I'm sure you've all read the newspapers. The State Security Agency was outed for mass looting during the Zondo Commission. The Defense Intelligence, think of our SANDF members killed in the Congo. 2 months before the creation of the committee, I wrote to the Inspector General of Intelligence and asked about the purchases by crime intelligence of at least 2 questionable, very expensive properties in the suburbs of Pretoria and Durban. I checked and they had failed to consult with the Minister of Public Works before making the purchases. I found myself asking what it could possibly be that they intended to do with a 22.7 million rand, 24-bedroom, 5-star hotel in Pretoria. While I may not speak of the final report of the IG as it was presented to the JSCI, the extent of the purchases has now been revealed in great detail in the media. The picture is far, far darker than I first imagined. And as we've already seen, and as with every such episode I've watched over the years, we are hearing claims and counterclaims while the Twitterati shoot to kill reputations through kangaroo courts without a shred of evidence. 3 weeks ago, there were 7 crime intelligence arrests. In fact, the whole top structure, not in relation to the building purchases yet, but in relation to the hiring of a lady from BMW. One of those arrested had actually been arrested a week prior in connection with a saga that somehow involved a hooker, a gun, a laptop, and a cell phone. Then on Sunday, the president announced not the suspension of Lieutenant General Mchunu, who had the world thinking we had a coup on our hands, or the firing of the minister, facing claims that he had colluded with a criminal syndicate and interfered in various high-level investigations, but the formation of yet another judicial commission. The minister is, however, to sit at home on full pay, watching his 2027 presidential ambitions circle the drain. A quick reminder of the billion rand arrest-free Zondo Commission. We know that after the Zuma incarceration for contempt of court came the riots, lootings, and murders. We gave up asking where the intelligence services had been during that time and why they hadn't put the fire out before it became a 21 billion rand conflagration. The 7 CI arrests were, I'm convinced, just the tip of a very large iceberg looking to sink careers indiscriminately. Sprinkled throughout these budget debates have been references to possible criminal activities by various ministers, something the president should have, in my opinion, dealt with on Sunday evening. So while crime intelligence is imploding, the State Security Agency opened the window for expertise to fly out, and fly it did. Back in November last year, many insiders came to me and to others with claims that the minister told a gathering of senior SSA officials that anyone over 50 must take early retirement, take a package or be fired, basically. So they went, and now the SSA is surely scrambling to replace the massive loss of intelligence expertise. Now, juniorization is the catchphrase of the day. Give the youngsters a chance, but this in the full knowledge that decades of experience cannot be rushed and the lack thereof could endanger lives. There was, of course, no JSCI to dig out the truth of the situation. Ultimately, a pivotal issue such as this should have been required to have at least the backing of the JSCI and operational committee. Allegations also swirling around the same minister in Ntshavheni with reference to a time as municipal manager of the Phalaborwa local municipality in Limpopo. This started as a small investigation, but morphed into a massive 80 million rand corruption probe and now sits with the NPA. Now, is this, in the end, all about the wrecking of various presidential ambitions? If so, who's behind it? Another presidential hopeful? Of course, there are loud denials flying around about the so-called Operation Sibonkolo, which was alleged to have been formed by the SSA officials aimed at undermining various political ambitions, with our minister, so the claims go, allegedly behind it. Deny, deny, deny. This isn't my first rodeo, and it wouldn't be the first or even the second time the SSA was used for a particular political agenda. The high-level review panel report determined that the SSA was open to abuse to achieve the political ends of individuals within the ANC. We all know that minister after minister after minister has been seen to weaponize the SSA for their own gains while feeding in scores of unqualified family members. Fair's fair. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that this current minister has ever followed that particular tradition. But the very integrity of our entire criminal justice system is on trial as we speak. So here we are. After all that bluster, a minister at home, another ministerial salary being paid, many fingers are crossed that this will all blow over and that we will have lost interest when in a year or more we may or may not discover the truth. Thank you.